All right, well, we've got a lot to address in this episode because where we stand currently at 500 and what really happens for the rest of the month of July kind of dictates where we're going this season. First off, the MLB draft. Now, we don't have a top 2 pick like we did last year. The Royals get the first pick, they take that guy. The Nationals are up next, I do believe, in number 2. They're gonna take Tyrone. And then I think it's who's up next? The Rockies, I think. I don't know who's number 3. It's the A's. Makes sense to take a guy who looks like he played with Dennis Eckersley. Our first round pick is Luis Cortez. Hey, potential's really good. Overall is decent. He played 4 years in college. I think Luis Cortez can be pretty solid for this team. Truly, I think he's a good starting pitcher. I know we picked a starting pitcher in the first round last year, but I think Cortez can be good for us. I like him in the 28th spot. Then we're going to take Darren Hernandez. Again, high potential. Overall is all right. Again, played 4 years in college, 22 years old. Then in the third round, we go, I think the second round actually, we had the supplemental pick. We go Chris Blanco. Again, high upside in the potential. That's what we're looking for pretty much with every single pick. Third round, we're going to go Fritz Hazel, a shortstop who's 18 years old. Now we kind of look towards high school guys. We'll see what we get out of him. He does not look like he's 18 years old. Then we go Hideo Akita, who's 18 years old as well. Third baseman, looking for youth late in this draft. Larry Palmer, another 18-year-old first baseman who is a switch hitter. Then we go Craig Conine, who again, potential is kind of all right. He's a first baseman as well, though. Kind of really didn't have many options with that last pick. We are 8 games out of a wild card berth going into the All-Star break. It's not ideal. It's really not. Our all-star will be Camilo Doval, but wait, we might have one more. We gotta just check the position players in a second. But yes, Camilo Doval in his first year with the Reds becomes an all-star. And on the bench, we will have one, not Joey Meneses, we will have Elly De La Cruz. Yes, Elly is an all-star in his, third season? I'll take it. Batting .280 at the deadline, 16 homers. He's put together a pretty good year so far. He's an all-star. Not going to show you the all-star game because Elly may have gone 0 for 3. Anyways, Chris Blanco does sign with the team. That's important. Hideo Akita will sign as well. Larry Palmer will sign. We're just trying to get Darren Hernandez and Luis Cortez to really just join us as well because Cortez is looking pretty decent. 95 potential is the upside, 82 is the floor. We'll try to get these guys in, and Darren Hernandez will sign. That works for us. And again, just looking for Luis Cortez. Hopefully we can get him in the next episode. However, in the sim, we just aren't doing all that great. 4 games under, and I really just don't know where are we not doing well at. Our pitching's not horrible. Our bats, we don't have one dominant guy, but it's not like we're a horrible offensive team. We traded for Arcia. I don't know entirely what's wrong with this team. So my question is, and not a question, but just kind of what I'm thinking now is, I think we maybe just blow this team up. Honestly, now we're trying to get Luis Cortez badly. He's our first round pick. Him and Fritz Hazel are not signing. We'll look again at that in the next episode, but we're 21 and a half games back of the NL Central and we're 12 games back of a wild card berth. I just don't think it's happening this season. And it doesn't mean we have to completely blow up the team, but what it does mean is we can try to salvage what we have and just move some guys right now at the deadline, because the deadline will be tomorrow's episode, right? TJ Friedl, I'm just going to go through the lineup real quick. Friedl's not going to get moved. Elly De La Cruz obviously not going to get moved. Orlando Arcia was brought into Cincinnati in order to help us make a playoff push. Obviously, that playoff push is looking like it's not going to be there this season, so I think we will move on. Jeimer Candelario, again, had a phenomenal postseason. I think he deserves to play in another postseason this season. He's got 1 year left in his deal after this year. It doesn't make sense to keep him around. I think we try to get some value right now when he still has another year under contract. Jock Peterson, again, there's no point in keeping Jock Peterson around. He is on a short-term deal. We can move him right now, and I think it makes sense. Matt McClain not getting moved. Benson, I'm going to think about it. Truly, I'll think about Will Benson, and I will even think about Tyler Stevenson too. Not Spencer Steer, likely not Esteury Ruiz, as we are playing the Washington Nationals today, if you couldn't tell. Nick Lodolo will be on the mound. In the starting pitching, right, I don't think Lodolo goes. He's had a good bounce-back year, ERA of about 4, right? Brandon Williamson's in AAA. Maybe we could look, honestly, at a trade for Williamson if we don't think he's going to crack the rotation. We could try to move him as Lodolo goes 1, 2, 3, and Cade Horton will be getting the ball tonight for the Washington Nationals here on this getaway day. And then Max Fried, right? He was our big addition in the offseason. Well, he's on a 2-year contract, and this is always my philosophy of things, right? 2-year contract. If you trade him right now, the team that you're trading them to has more incentive to try to go out and get Max Fried, because you just don't get him for this postseason run. You get him for a postseason run again next season as well. That's why I will likely move on from Max Fried. And again, for us as a team, I think, I'm just being honest, I think we can shoot for better in the free agency pool than trying to get a guy like Fried. I think we can get a true ace. I don't think Fried is completely that. I think Fried's good, but I don't think he's, top 10 in the league ace-wise. I think we can definitely improve and definitely look to be better in that one role. And just as a pitching staff as a whole as well, right? So I don't know who else will move in the starting rotation. As by the way, the Nationals get up to a 1-0 start. Lane Thomas rips one for a double, and then Luis Garcia follows suit by putting one in the gap as well, making it 1-0 Nationals. And there's the former LSU Tiger, Dylan Cruz, with the base knock as well. They're on the corners with one out for Brady House. The Nats got almost all their prospects up, but House gonna ground right into a double play. Candelario to the All-Star, De La Cruz back to Candy. The Nats got pretty much all of their prospects up except for James Wood. I don't know where CJ Abrams is. I'm assuming he's injured, but the Nationals slowly building up their young core. And of course, still their all-star Joey Meneses is here as well, as Matt McLean gonna hit that 2-2 pitch and hit it into center field, but it'll be caught out there by, of course, Dylan Cruz. I don't know what else we can look to move on the bullpen. Not against moving Sam Moll. He has not had a phenomenal year. TJ Antone, maybe I'll think about moving. Camilo Doval is truly the only untouchable though at the bullpen. Seriously. I think almost every other guy in that bullpen can't be moved, if I'm being honest. Seriously, Aroldis Chapman, I think I will move just because, again, high ERA, it's about 5, but a team will look for a guy like Chapman just because he throws hard. I probably won't get rid of Mason Miller. I see the upside in him, and I just want to keep him around. Antone, I'll think about it. Chris Martin has not had a good year for us. Of course, he pitched dominant seasons over in Boston, then he comes to us and really just doesn't do anything. As, by the way, Cade Horton, who entered today with a 6 ERA, has just retired 9 in a row to start us off. Lodolo is going to get the All-Star and Joey Meneses to ground out to Orlando Arcia. But think about this game against the Washington Nationals in the series finale as kind of just a goodbye to some of the veterans. Obviously, Matt McLean just caught that liner. He's not going anywhere. But even a guy like Will Benson here, I think Benson can get us some good trade value. And do I really see Benson as a long-term piece of this squad? I don't know, because Benson's truly not an everyday player for us. He only bats against right-handed pitching, as there is going to be the inning-ending strikeout of one Jose Miranda. And okay, enough playing around here against the Nats. TJ Friedel goes dead center. The first hit of the game for the Reds is a solo home run. TJ Friedel on the leadoff spot hits one out. It was just a matter of time before the Reds start connecting. Friedel, a big power year for him. 18th of the season makes this a 1-1 game as Friedel again ties us up. Elly De La Cruz now to the plate on the 2-2 pitch, and Elly goes back to back. Deep right field, that's why he was an all-star this season. And we finally moved Elly up the lineup. I think it's just time. I moved McLean down, Elly up. But of course, all these guys are going to end up in the top of this order eventually. Elly De La Cruz, 18th of the year, 383 feet. We got to stop that dab, though. We got to move on from that. But what I'm saying, right, Friedel, De La Cruz, McLean, even a guy like Tyler Stevenson, who I'm leaning towards keeping, will probably be on this in this top of the order, right? Because again, Arcia, who just had a bad strikeout, I definitely will move. I like Candy, but I think it's time we move on considering the contracts and considering, again, I think he deserves to play for a playoff team this year. And Jock Peterson, even though, again, that was a horrific strikeout, and, bad throw down to first by Carter Jensen, the rookie. Still, though, I think Jock should get a chance to play as well on a playoff team, as Matt McLean going to rip one down the left field line. That ball's going to get through first and second, 2 outs here. Still with the bats are the Reds. Will Benson, though, going to strike out on that changeup. Horton getting a lot of these Reds to bite on that low stuff. We go to the top of the 5th. Dylan Cruz leading things off for the Nationals as that one is blasted to center, but right to Esteury Ruiz. One gone for Brady House. The former first-round pick, gonna hit one to left field. He'll be on with a 1-out single, bringing to the plate Carter Jensen. Still looking for his first hit as a pro. Jensen puts one on the ground. Orlando Arcia, diving play, sliding play to McLean. Over to Jeimer Candelario. There's your double play by the Reds to end at the top of the 5th. Tyler Stevenson starting the bottom of the 5th. And he's trying to make the case to stay on the Reds. Stevenson unloads one deep into left field. It's a big fly for him as the Reds extend their lead. 3 runs for Cincinnati, Stevenson's 10th of the season, but all 3 runs via the solo home run. They say the solo home run's not gonna kill ya, but when you give up 3 in the span of an inning, it's not ideal. And now Ruiz gonna check into the game with an opposite field base knock. He'll be on it with that single into right. TJ Friedel now on the 1-1 pitch is going to take here. Coming down to second will be Ruiz. He swipes that. Runner on second, still no outs in the inning for TJ Friedel on the 2-1 pitch. Runner going, and it is an easy move over for Friedel. As Ruiz will now be standing on third base with 1 out. Elly De La Cruz to the plate on the 1-2 pitch, and that's going to do the job. De La Cruz going to send in Ruiz from third base, and the Reds extend their lead to 4-1. Finally, not on a solo home run, as Orlando Arcia, who is likely playing his final game as a Cincinnati Red, will ground out. Arcia will likely play for 3 teams this season, as he started with the Baltimore Orioles. And again, for us, I thought it was a good move. And I really did not think this season was going to go this way. And now, again, we are not expecting a playoff run from this Reds team. Likely means only 2 more episodes of the regular season. We'll do the trade deadline tomorrow, and then we'll probably just go straight to the final game of the season. And then we'll get straight back into the offseason. Because, again, we don't really want to play around with the team that's not going to be making a playoff run. Is Nick Lodolo going to get himself hopefully out of a jam right there? Pop out to him. 2 gone in the inning, first and second. Luis Garcia, pitch 102. Got him. Lodolo in the lefty-lefty matchup sets down Luis Garcia Jr. as we go to the bottom of the 6th with Richard Blyer pitching now for the Washington Nationals. Again, I didn't think this was going to be the way this team was heading. We started off the year really well. I think what hurt us was the injuries, right? De La Cruz goes down, Candelario goes down, Max Fried dealt with some injuries as well. I think that's what really hurt us. And again, it's just a lost season. It's really not one that I think we're going to dwell over because I think this team can really move on. As you see on the bottom of the screen, the Reds willing to discuss trades for TJ Antone. And yeah, again, I would be. Did that ball bounce off of TJ Friedel's head? I think it did. Okay, couldn't make the catch, but the ball bounces off his dome. Dylan Cruz is going to strike out on that Chris Martin slider away. Again, I think this team can bounce back pretty quickly as that one's lined into right field. Should score a run. The Nats are not going to send Miranda to the plate. Instead, on the corners, 1 gone, we pull Martin and bring in Gregory Soto, someone who I do think is part of the future. We've had our troubles with him, but still a guy I want to keep around. He's going to get Carter Jensen, lefty-lefty in the fastball up and in. I think he can be our top lefty in the bullpen, truly. And Verdugo lines out to Matt McClain. There you go. Again, if we can get Gregory Soto, the former All-Star, back on track and pitching at a productive level, that's a guy I want to keep around Cincinnati for a very long time. So back what I was saying, again, I did not think this team was going to miss out in the playoffs, but it is what it is. Guys got hurt, and now we just have to be able to bounce back. And I think we are able to bounce back because of the young talent we do have. And yes, we did have veterans around them, but it sucks to say, but I think a lot of these guys, again, are replaceable. A lot of the veterans we can go back out and we can go get. What we can't go and undo is the trades that we can potentially make to get prospects. So we got to go right now, load up on prospects. And if we need to, I am more than willing to spend a lot of money in free agency, because I want to get this team back to a contending state. I don't want to play around and miss the playoffs 2 years in a row after being 1 game away from the World Series. Because yes, don't get me wrong, this is a complete collapse. Like, we should not have been in this situation, but it is what it is. I think we need to be back in the postseason next year, and the only way to be back in the postseason is if you're willing to spend a lot of money, which I think we're going to be able to be. We need to have a big free agency class this offseason, and not be afraid to make big trades as well. Again, in the offseason, if we need to trade a couple young guys to get a veteran presence or someone who's really going to help us out right now, I'm not afraid to do so. So again, we're just reloading at the deadline, and we'll see where it takes us. Back to this game, though, we're 3 outs away from beating the Washington Nationals. Make it 2. Camilo Doval gonna strike out Luis Garcia on that cutter. Jose Miranda on the 2-1. Putting one on the ground, Jeimer Candelario, likely his swan song here in Cincy, gets the out. Dylan Cruz on the 1-2 pitch. Got him! Camilo Doval sets him down on the slider away, and the Cincinnati Reds will win here at home at Great American Ballpark. They will win this one and will move on to a record of 52 wins and 57 losses. Again, 5 games under 500 and double-digit games back of the wild card. That kind of prompts our decision to sell right now. And the Reds win this game with only 5 hits. 5 hits, 3 of them were solo home runs. That's all it takes to beat the Washington Nationals, who did out-hit us by 3 with their 8 hits, but again, we're only able to cash in once with that Luis Garcia double to drive in the Lane train in Lane Thomas. So folks, thank you all for watching episode number 32 of the Cincinnati Reds franchise mode here on MLB The Show 24. We'll be back tomorrow for the trade deadline. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Go and stay on for watching. I'm Mamba forever.